In the US, there's no shortage of stores selling cheap tools. But Harbor Freight is a special case. It's growing rapidly, expanding strongly, and attracting millions of customers with deals that are hard to believe. However, hidden within that bargain lies a secret that few dare to speak openly. In 2020, a bulletin from the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration caused a stir. Over 1.6 million Harbor Freight jack stands were at risk of collapsing, a number large enough to make investigators question the entire system behind this brand. If this is truly a product meant to protect you, and it still has such a serious flaw, then what about other cheaper items? Behind the dazzling light of deep discounts, incredible bargains, and unbelievable prices lies a massive iceberg. And today, we'll peel back the layers one by one. The truth behind Harbor Freight and the items you should avoid at all costs. Let's get started. Affordable model anatomy. Where does Harbor Freight cut corners? When tracing the journey of a Pittsburgh wrench or Bauer drill, we discovered a common thread. They all began in low-cost manufacturing plants, where workers, production lines, and materials were optimized to the point of being unable to be optimized further. To illustrate, if major brands are like five-star kitchens, where every ingredient is carefully selected, then Harbor Freight's supply chain is like a giant wholesale market where low price is always the most important criterion. Harbor Freight doesn't rely on external brands. They use a private label system, Bauer, Hercules, Pittsburgh, Icon, which allows them to decide everything from design and materials to the final price. But this is also a risky turning point. A shipment might look good, but that doesn't mean the second or third shipments will be the same. Sometimes a small deviation, a minor change, is enough to significantly reduce durability. And in the tool industry, even a few percentage points difference in steel, a few grams of alloy, can make the difference between something being stable and something being used once and then left aside. And when cheap is the guiding principle, the quality variable is always elusive. It doesn't stop there. A deeper dive into the financial data reveals that Harbor Freight's model relies on massive sales volume, not profit margins per product. A drill they might sell for a very low profit, but when they sell millions of units each year, the total profit is enormous. To achieve that incredible price point, the chain cuts almost every cost that competitors typically invest in. Minimalist store design, no elaborate displays, few personnel, simplified processes. Marketing is almost non-existent, relying mainly on word of mouth and discount flyers. Imagine a budget airline. No fancy meals, no entertainment screens, no wide seats, just a price that makes you want to book a ticket right away. Harbor Freight is the same. Eliminate everything unnecessary. Keep only the core essentials to make the product as affordable as possible. But just like budget airlines, this leads to a proposition. If you want a perfect experience, you won't find it here. Now, let's talk about the warranty issue. During the survey at the store, almost every customer was offered an extended warranty package by the staff. This is not a coincidence. This package is considered a huge source of additional profit, compensating for the excessively low product price. Many customers say they were only allowed one exchange. To continue the warranty, customers are required to purchase a new package. And so, from cheap, it became not as cheap as imagined. If Harbor Freight is an iceberg, then the warranty packages are the submerged part. Few see them, but they are what keeps this ship afloat on the financial surface. Are we buying an item, or are we buying the feeling of having just saved money? Have you ever fallen into the situation of being tempted by a low price and then regretting it? How to share so that everyone can learn from it. But the low-cost model is just the first layer. In the next part, we'll delve into the biggest scandal in Harbor Freight history, where the entire quality system was dissected. The recall of millions of jack stands. This is where things become concerning and alarming. Let's continue. Jack stand scandal, the pinnacle of a nightmare. May 2020. A statement from the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration spread like a cold bell. More than 1.65 million Harbor Freight jack stands, the 3-ton and 6-ton versions, are subject to recall. To put it into perspective, 1.65 million products is enough to fill every vehicle in a major city, from family cars to pickup trucks. What was the reason given? A deviation in the locking mechanism, which is only as small as a fingernail. But if it doesn't function correctly, the device can become unstable under load. In the world of car repair, just one detail not being locked in the correct position is enough to create an extremely concerning situation. The reports describing the technical issues are as cold as a storm map. Small, difficult to recognize, but when combined, large enough to cause waves of concern throughout the user community. Immediately after the recall, Harbor Freight released a replacement product. This should have been an apology by action. We will do better. But less than 2 months later, a second announcement appeared. This time, the problem lies in the metal joint, a crucial component that forms the backbone of the stand. When this core is not guaranteed, the overall stability of the device is affected. In the language of engineering, this is a blind spot that the quality control process cannot overlook. But it happened, and it created a domino effect. Customer confidence was noticeably shaken. If the first recall was like thunder, the second was the accompanying lightning, illuminating all the unanswered questions about the production monitoring process. After 2 consecutive announcements, Harbor Freight did something rare. They created a dedicated refund page and accepted returns even without a receipt. This isn't just a support measure, it's also like a pressure relief valve aimed at reducing the wave of anxiety within the user community, because no one wants safety support devices to carry potential risks. From an MBA perspective, this is a crisis management decision. Short-term loss cutting to preserve long-term brand value. But for users, the bigger question still hangs in the air. If something as important as a stand leg is faulty, what about cheaper, less noticeable items? Do you think a low-cost business can maintain consistent quality across all product segments? And have you ever experienced a situation where the tools didn't work as expected? Please share your experiences so everyone can get a clearer picture. The jack stand incident was like a flash of light that swept through the entire Harbor Freight system. But this is just the starting point. In the next part, we'll delve into the dirty secrets, the things few people know about quality stratification, how Harbor Freight makes products so unbelievably cheap, and which items you should really avoid. Don't take your eyes off it. Dirty secrets. Things Harbor Freight won't tell you. As we began surveying hundreds of Harbor Freight products, a strange pattern gradually emerged. It's not printed on the box, not in the catalog, and not mentioned by the staff, yet it determines almost the entire buyer experience. That is the 3-tiered quality stratification system. The lowest tier includes Pittsburgh, Warrior, Chicago Electric. These are Harbor Freight's national brands. The boxes are brightly colored, and the prices are so low that people often mistake them for being heavily discounted. This product group is designed to serve simple needs. Use a few times, light repairs, household chores. It's like buying a pair of shoes to wear for a few days, not a long-term investment. They're so cheap that some items cost only as much as a specialty coffee in the city center. But that very thing leads to a limitation. Lifespan is difficult to predict. The level of completion is uneven. Suitable for occasional users, not for intensive work. The second floor is the middle floor, which includes names like Bauer and Hercules. This is a mid-range segment, similar to airlines that are not overly luxurious, but also not too basic. Bauer and Hercules compete directly with other mid-range brands in the market. The activity is stable, acceptable durability. The price is still reasonable. If Pittsburgh is usable, then Bauer, Hercules is quite usable. And many DIY users consider them the best value for money in the entire Harbor Freight ecosystem. And the third tier, the highest level, includes the Icon, Daytona, and Vulcan. This is considered a surprise move by Harbor Freight. Icon targets high-end brands. Daytona focuses on the lifting equipment market. Vulcan competes in the welding machine segment. These products are more carefully crafted, use better materials, and have a higher level of finish. If you were to say Harbor Freight is a marketplace, then these three lines are the premium craft display counters, where you have to look very carefully to distinguish the good items from the sea of cheap ones. Despite being clearly stratified like this, why do customers still buy the wrong floor? This is the second dirty secret, one that Harbor Freight doesn't intentionally hide, but is enough to mislead anyone walking into the store for the first time. The way the products are displayed, how they are arranged, the colors, the price tags, everything creates the feeling that all the items are the same, only the prices are different. But the reality is different, like fashion jackets and protective jackets. They may look similar, but their performance can be vastly different. Customers often have three illusions. First, the quality is the same for the same store. This is incorrect because in reality, the three tiers have distinctly different qualities. The second illusion is that the low price is due to the goods being cut. Actually, the low price reflects the level of investment in materials and production lines. And the third illusion, whatever gets high reviews is safe. But ultimately, can user experience replace technical standards? As a result, many people enter Harbor Freight with a savings mindset, but end up buying the wrong items because they only look at the price and not the intended use. It doesn't stop there. In the tool industry, price differences are not only about brand, but also about stability, durability, and load-bearing capacity. A $10 item might be okay for minor repairs, but a $100 item can be designed to operate in a stressful environment for hours on end. It's like comparing a disposable flashlight to a professional outdoor spotlight. The light is the same, but the performance is completely different. Harbor Freight knows this well, but the average customer doesn't. And it is this distance that creates a cognitive gap, leading many people to buy the wrong floor and then complain that cheap goods are not durable. The truth is, cheap or expensive, each floor is born for a different purpose. If you walk into a store where 90% of the products are private label, do you believe they are all of the same quality? Have you ever bought the wrong product category because you saw a low price? Share, so everyone can learn from it. But understanding the stratification system is only the first step. In the next section, we'll get straight to the most important question. So, which items should you avoid and which are truly worth buying at Harbor Freight? This is a black and blue list that anyone needs to know before entering the store. Let's keep watching together. Blacklist. Things you should stay away from. First are the product groups directly related to safety. The forbidden zone for those who want to save too much. In any hardware store, there's a golden rule. Products that bear heavy loads or play an absolute protective role for the user should never be chosen solely because they're cheap. And at Harbor Freight, this group is the red zone on the blacklist. From the jack stands to the hydraulic jack, from the pulley block to the lifting equipment, these items can be likened to the legs of a car being repaired. They must be as strong as steel pillars. But in the low price segment, the risk lies in the unevenness between shipments, or slight deviations in the metal structure, enough to create instability. You can imagine it like standing on a cheap folding chair. Just one weak joint, and the user could completely lose their balance. Even without extreme situations, safety levels still need to be an absolute priority. A little advice for you. If you need to buy lifting-related equipment, choose a brand with higher testing standards or Harbor Freight's premium line, such as Daytona. The second category you should also consider when buying from Harbor Freight is high-pressure, high-voltage equipment, which is considered a gray area between performance and operational risk. Air compressors, pressure washcloths, generators, all have their own heartbeat beat now. Pressure, electricity, heat. A small variable can also cause the machine to run unstably or significantly reduce its lifespan. In the budget segment, many users report that the device performs well initially, but quickly degrades, or that unusual sounds appear after a short time. This isn't due to poor design, but rather to cost-optimized materials and components, similar to using lightweight alloy gears, while competitors use hardened steel. Imagine, if a high-pressure device is a mechanical heart, then the quality of its main components is the blood vessels that nourish it. Weak blood vessels. The heart doesn't function smoothly. If you need to use it frequently, consider another brand, or Harbor Freight's mid-range or higher tiers, like Bauer Hercules. The third group is tools for professionals. Wrenches, sockets, drills, impact guns. If used a few times a year, Harbor Freight's general purpose lines can certainly meet your needs. But for professional tradespeople, the high frequency of use means the tools are constantly under stress, prone to overheating, wear and tear, and overloading. Choosing cheap gear for professional work is like using low-cost running shoes for a marathon. It might get you through the first few kilometers, but as the pressure increases, every weakness will be exposed. For tools that require daily stability, price differences clearly reflect the quality of the material and the accuracy of the machining. If you are a professional, prioritize investing in the Icon line, or switch to a higher-end brand on the market. Have you ever encountered a situation where cheap tools didn't work as expected? Which product do you think you shouldn't skimp on? Share so everyone can have a more comprehensive perspective. But avoiding mistakes isn't enough. In the next section, we'll move on to the green list, the must-buy items, good price points, and products that perform beyond expectations at Harbor Freight. This is the other side of the story. Let's explore. Green list. Items you should buy at Harbor Freight. Let's talk about consumables, the safest segment in the world of low prices. When analyzing Harbor Freight's low-cost model, we realize something interesting. Consumables are the most obvious bright spot. Sandpaper, small drill bits, steel, brushes, screw trays. These are products that wear out quickly and need to be replaced after use. In manufacturing plants, consumables often do not require complex machining standards. Therefore, optimizing costs does not significantly affect usage efficiency. Imagine this. Sandpaper is the pencil of the mechanical industry. You don't need a fancy metal pen. You just need a pen that writes and that you change frequently. A huge plus is the low prices at Harbor Freight, which allows you to buy more, stock up, and use things freely without having to measure each time. If you want to buy something that's definitely worth the money, the consumables group is at the top of the list. Next is the DIY tools group, a suitable choice for occasional users. For someone who isn't a professional, only does weekend repairs, installs wooden shelves, and tightens a few screws a year, Harbor Freight becomes a reasonable and economical choice. Mid-level screwdriver sets, socket sets, or small Bauer or Hercules drills often have a very good price-to-performance ratio. Moderate strength. The durability is sufficient. The price is only 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 compared to major brands. This segment can be compared to renting a standard car for a picnic. You don't need a sports car. You need a car that runs smoothly, is safe, and cost-effective. For short-term, low-frequency, and low-investment tasks, Harbor Freight's approach is perfectly reasonable. But note, choose mid-range or higher models, like Bauer, Hercules, and avoid lower tiers like Warrior for tasks requiring strong force. The third group that should buy is a toolbox and cart. We've noticed that many professional users highly value the Icon tool chest lines and some of the carts. If expensive brands are like luxury safes, then Harbor Freight's Icon cabinets are like industrial safes. Sturdy steel frame, smooth sliding rails, good load capacity, and a significantly lower price. In particular, the diverse sizes and compact design make Icon a rare long-term investment from Harbor Freight that even professional mechanics consider. The company's carts, desks, and workbenches are also in the good value, good performance category, suitable for both small workshops and home garages. If you could only choose one item to buy at Harbor Freight, what would it be? Consumables, DIY tools, or an Icon tool cabinet? Please share so everyone can refer to it. Looking through the entire history of Harbor Freight, from their budget models and tiered quality systems to the jack stand scandal, one truth stands out above all others. In the world of tools, you're not just buying an item. You are buying peace of mind, reliability, and your own time. Harbor Freight is neither the bad guy nor the hero. They are simply a large ecosystem with good products, some products that need consideration, and some products that should absolutely not be chosen if you prioritize safety. And my final piece of advice for anyone entering this store: know what floor you're buying on, what purpose it's for, and what you're trading off. Because sometimes the cheapest option is actually the most expensive in ways few would expect. Before I leave the video, I'd like to hear your perspective. What's the best thing you've ever bought at Harbor Freight that you were most satisfied with? And which dish disappointed you the most? Leave a comment below. Many others are also looking for answers just like you are. If you enjoy these in-depth, investigative-style videos that uncover the truth, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share the video with relatives or friends who also buy repair supplies. The entire content of this video is based on publicly available information from the press, analysis documents, technical data, user reviews, and a research-based knowledge-sharing synthesis. The video is not intended to attack or draw absolute conclusions about any brand. The sole purpose is to help viewers better understand the risks and benefits and the factors to consider when choosing tools, ensuring safety and effective use. Thank you for your companionship. See you in the next videos.